Continuing with the same example, you must have noticed that these flex items do not occupy the same size. Their widths or sizes are based on the content within. Also, they shrink when there is less space available, but do not expand even when there is more space in the container, right? This behavior is changed using the flex CSS property, not the flex class which sets the display property to flex, but instead the flex CSS property, and in Tailwind you have 4 utility classes for 4 different flex values. Now each of these flex values have a combination of flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis. We'll see what individually all of these mean, but together there are 4 values that you can use, and the default is flex initial, which means an item does not grow to occupy more space, but it shrinks. And its initial value is set to auto, which means it occupies space based on the content with it. If you want the items to grow as well, we can set flex auto to any of the flex items. Let me set this to all the 3 items. Notice that I'm setting the class to the items and not the flex container. That's what we did in the previous video. So let me select all these 3 and add flex auto. And let's look what happens here when we resize the browser. I'll have to refresh again. Yeah, now all the items occupy all the available space. So they're first set to their initial widths and the remaining space is distributed equally. However, most of the time this is not what we need. At least for this example, we might want each item to occupy the same space irrespective of the content. The utility classes for that would be flex 1. As you can see, this sets the initial size to 0%. So let me change all flex auto to flex 1. And now let's observe what happens. If I expand the browser, you can see that no matter what, they all occupy the same width. You can also do flex 2 instead. So let's say I set the second item to flex 2. Now this occupies 2 times the size of the items with flex 1. This is not there in the documentation, but it works. Alright, let me change this back to flex 1. There's also flex none. So if you set these to flex none, it's not flexible at all. So neither does it shrink, nor does it expand. Okay, I'm setting these back to flex auto now. And then we see something else. So right now, the initial width is defined by the content inside, but you can change that using the basis utility class. This works very similar to width. So let me set a basis of 60. That's just like setting W60, but slightly works differently for flex items. So I'm setting basis 60 to the first item, and for the other 2, let me just set basis 30, so half of the first item, and you'll see what happens. Now you see the initial size is 60, 30, and 30, but as you expand, it will grow in such a way that it follows the initial size, but then distributes the remaining space available to all of them equally. So that's what basis does. Okay, I will remove all of the basis classes and the flex classes, because apart from these flex utility classes, you can use individual shrink and grow utilities to just set the shrink and grow properties, flex grow and flex shrink properties for any of the items. So let's say by default we saw that it shrinks but doesn't grow, right? We can set the first item to not shrink at all. So you can say shrink 0. Shrink is flex shrink 1, but shrink 0, as you can see, sets it to 0. And now if you see, if I refresh, it makes sure that it does not shrink further. And then for the second item, let me set the grow as 1. So for that, the utility class is simply grow. This will make sure that that item grows to occupy all the remaining space available, because the other 2 items are not. Alright, this was about sizing the flex items, and I hope you've got a good idea now. Next, let's look at how to nest flex box within another flex box. So for now, this is a flex container, and these 3 are flex items. What if I want to turn this flex item further into a flex container, because I might want this icon and text to stack next to each other? Simply do the same thing what you did before. Set flex utility class, which will set the display value of this item as display value of this div as flex, and then you have a flex container. You can also use all the other utility classes like gap2, item center, and everything works the same way, entirely independent of this being a flex item. So a flex item can become a flex container, and it's not affected by any of its parent container styles. This container's items can further become containers and so on. Let me also add justify center here, and now if I add all these 4 classes to the other 2 items as well, we have a nested flex container with a great looking services section, and this is perfect.